Hi viewers, this is Dr. Iftikhar from Pakistan. Today I'm going to present my lecture on Amblyomma hebraeum, which is also known as Bont Tick and South Africa Bont Tick. Amblyomma hebraeum is a hard tick that infests livestock and wildlife. It also bites humans. The long mouth parts of the amblyomma ticks make them difficult to remove manually. These ticks also leave large wounds that may become infected by the bacteria or infested by the screw worms. Amblyomma hebraeum can transmit Ehrlichia ruminantium, formerly Cowderia ruminantium, which is the agent of the Heartwater. This tick can also carry Rickettsia africa, which is the agent of the African tick bite fever, and emerging zoonosis in the rural sub-Saharan Africa and the Caribbean. In today's lecture, we'll cover the information regarding the tick, Amblyomma hebraeum, and the disease it can transmit. We will also talk about how to identify the tick and the impact this tick has had in the past and could have in the future. Additionally, we'll talk about how it is transmitted and the species it affects. Finally, we'll address the prevention and control measures as well as the actions to take if Amblyomma hebraeum is suspected. Amblyomma hebraeum is a hard tick in the family Exodidae. It is a three-host tick. Immature ticks feed on small mammals, ground-feeding birds, reptiles, and all the domestic ruminant species. Adult ticks can be found on the livestock and wildlife, including the antelope, and are usually located on the relatively hairless parts of the body. Amblyomma hebraeum can feed on the humans as well. Hard ticks have a dorsal shield which is called as scutum, and their mouth parts, which are called as capitulum, protrude forward when they are seen from above. Amblyomma ticks are large, variegated ticks with long, strong mouth parts. The palps are long. The second segment is twice as long as it is wide. The eyes are present and the festoons are well developed. The males have no adenal shields, accessory shields, or subanal shields. Amblyomma hebraeum males are 4.2 to 5.7 millimeter long oval ticks. The scutum is smooth and convex, with fine black or brown spots and stripes on pale greenish white background. The legs are dark brown, moderately stout, and have apical yellow banding at the distal end of each segment. Unfed Amblyomma hebraeum females are 5 millimeter long. Engorged females can be up as long as 20 millimeter. The dorsum is dark greenish brown or black, punctuate and striate. Tick identification to the species level can be difficult, and the ticks should be submitted to an expert for identification whenever it is possible. Amblyomma hebraeum is found in tropics and subtropics. It prefers moderately humid, warm savannas. This tick is endemic in African countries including South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Malawi, and Angola. Amblyomma variegatum is a three-host tick. These ticks can be found on the host for several days while they feed and when they drop to the ground. Adult ticks can be found on the livestock and wildlife, including antelope. Most of them are found on the ventral body surface, which is called as the perineum, and the axilla, as well as they are also found under the tail. Females lay eggs that become larvae. Larvae attach to the first host and then they drop off and become nymphs. Nymphs attach to the second host. Later, the nymphs drop off and molt to the adults. Immature ticks feed on small mammals, ground feeding birds, reptiles, and all the domestic ruminant species. Heartwater, which is a rickettsial disease of the ruminants, is one of the most important diseases of the livestock in Africa. This tick-borne illness can significantly decrease the productivity in regions where it is endemic. The symptoms begin with a sudden fever, anorexia, listlessness, and dyspnea. Some animals, particularly cattle, may also develop diarrhea. These symptoms are followed by the neurological signs. Hydropericardium with straw color to reddish pericardial fluid gives Heartwater its name. Rickettsia africa is the agent of African tick bite fever, which is an emerging zoonosis in rural sub-Saharan Africa and Caribbean. It causes fever, nausea, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, and neck stiffness. Measures that are used to exclude the exotic ticks from a country include the pre-export inspection and the certification that the animals are free of ectoparasites, quarantines upon the entry, and the treatment with acaricides. In countries where Amblyomma hebraeum is already present, acaricides can eliminate the ticks from the animal, but do not prevent the reinfestation and must be repeated periodically. Three-host ticks spend at least 90% of their life cycle in the environment rather than on the host animal. Ticks in the environment must also be controlled to prevent their spread. If the ticks are already spread in the region, eradication can be difficult. Eradication programs are based on the animal identification and the periodic acaricide treatment of the livestock, as well as the public education, surveillance, quarantines, and the movement restriction. If you suspect Amblyomma hebraeum, state or federal authorities should be notified immediately. Animals suspected infested with the Amblyomma hebraeum should be isolated and the farm should be quarantined until the definitive diagnosis is determined. Well, that's the end of our today's lecture. Thank you for watching this video.